All right, guys, welcome to another episode of the Millennial Real Talk Podcast, episode 16. We have a special guest here today, Jared from the Century 21, the Sabeth team.
Thank you for having me.
Yep, no problem. So I'm Matt. For those of you that don't know, Matt Reddy, part of the Pacheco Homes team, Coldwell Banker, Jason, team leader here. So we work together, and Jared's a guest here today.
Let's give Matt a round of applause. End of the year just came, and he closed 9 deals, I think, this year. 9 units.
I think it was 8.
Oh, being honest, nice. 8 units. You know,
One fell apart, but you know.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah, I know. Jared's gonna tell us all about that today.
Full complete year.
Yeah,
January to December. So.
Yeah, January to December. Yeah, because I think I started June 2021, so that was the 6-month interim, which I think I only did like 2 or whatever, but whatever.
What it is.
So we got Jared here, just turned 21. So cheers to Jared.
Yeah, 21.
Cheers to Jared, just turned 21.
Is there alcohol in that? There better be.
Nope, just
No?
apple
All
juice. Right. Yeah. So my name's Jason Pacheco. I work at Coldwell Banker. I brought Jared on here today. Obviously, the name of the podcast is called Millennial Real Talk Podcast. And I met Jared, I think he was 19 at an open house, 18, 19. And whenever, I probably was 20, 21. So, whenever I see a young fellow colleague in the industry, I always try and just like talk to them because obviously we're the minority. And I always want to know, I guess to start, I kind of already know, but I want to know a little more. Like, how did you get into real estate? Like, why real estate? Did you go to college? Where are you from? Did you play sports?
Okay.
Stuff
So
like that.
we'll start with where I'm from. I'm from Coventry. Played football at Coventry High School, but I actually got into it because I had a friend whose mom, she owned a brokerage right on Tyoke Ave right there in Coventry.
And did you start there?
I did start there. I was there for probably a year. Same thing with you. I was at my first open house. Where I met my new broker, and I went over there after the fact.
Yeah. Now football. Were you a starter? What position?
For 2 years,
Oh,
I played
right.
outside linebacker. I'm a little smaller, but
All right.
I had fun out there.
Yeah. But yeah, so like I said, I met you. It's tough to be on the list side in real estate.
Yeah.
You want to be on the list side. And especially at a young age, picture yourself 20, 19 years old, and you're trying to tell a seller who owns, a $500,000 home, I'm going to take care of your sale. Trust me in selling your home. And they're looking at this young guy, and he's like, he could be my son. I'm not going to trust him to sell my house. So when I saw you had the listing, I was very impressed. I'm like, how do you do this? What am I doing wrong? What did he do that maybe I can do? Then I think we connected online. He ended up cold calling a for sale by owner, which I bet 95% of the people in real estate don't do because they're scared to do it. And you coming at it 19, 18 years old, getting right into the cold calling, that was so impressive. Like, even with myself and you, cold calling is not fun.
Yeah, it's not something. I should be doing more of that, even myself. So
Yeah, it's one thing at the beginning I found myself not doing at all.
yeah,
The more I got into it, the more I noticed the business was coming in. It was good.
Yeah.
Awkward at sometimes.
Oh, yeah.
Sometimes you mess up, but you just keep going.
So did you go to college at all?
I went
You went to high school, Coventry High, finished that, right?
finish that.
Now, career-wise, did you have any, what career paths did you think you were going to go to? Did you have any interest in anything, or was it just real estate?
It was just real estate. I was kind of, in the school-wise, the education, I kind of didn't really know what I wanted to do. I was kind of just going for my gen eds loss, just going with the motions.
that's everyone else. So yeah,
Yeah, it's most of the
don't feel it's all your friends.
Exactly.
Hopefully, they don't see this, but
I bet all his friends want to be realtors now.
I know.
That's the one thing I get a lot. People ask me questions. I do have a buddy who's doing the classes right now, and then I have another buddy who's down in Florida actually doing it.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah, cool. So, so you're going to CCRI, not really know what you want to do. In the back of your mind, you wanted to do real estate. But
Yes.
With your if you got an education, you didn't really know what you want to do with it. So then, what made you just say, I'm going to do real estate? What did you have a gut feeling? How'd you get the confidence to just go for that?
I would like to say I'm good with people.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, I got into real estate because I didn't really I want to be an agent. Obviously, you got to be an agent first. But my ultimate end goal is to be an investor, own some units, flip properties. But I'm using this obviously as like a stepping stool to meet the people, get the connection.
Right. So were you in CCRI taking classes there and also taking classes for your real estate license at the same time, or?
No, I was taking the class for real estate license right when COVID hit. So in the middle of that, while we were taking that break from school,
Yeah. Oh.
I had time to do it.
Okay. Yeah, I know Matt's big into the investing stuff too. So ultimately, like, you got into it thinking, I want to. Now, would you correct me if I'm wrong? You're first off, you're like, I want to be an investor, I want to be an investor, but I'm going to get my real estate license first. And now you're a real estate agent. Are you kind of enjoying it? And you're like, hey, this is actually pretty good. And I also still want to be an investor, but you know, the realtor side of it is pretty good.
Oh yeah, the realtor side's pretty good. I mean, has its up and downs. You don't really get that check at the end of each week like normal jobs, but you get that freedom.
Yeah, like I was, whenever I'm, like, let's say I'm at an open house and I'm bored, a friend FaceTimes me or calls me. We always have this joke, like, I'll be at the open house and they'll ask me, oh, cool, man, you're working right now? How much you making per hour? And it's like, nothing. And like, oh, that's awesome. How much time off do you get? None. Oh, that's a great job. Do you have any pensions? No. And like, oh, do you have any, like, healthcare? No. And then like, oh, that sounds like a sweet gig you have. You know, we don't get anything.
We get nothing.
But, you know, whatever. There's pros and cons, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, we could talk about the whole other side of that too.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
the free, you know,
Definitely.
you just said freedom, but there's definitely like there's a lot of freedom, and you can like,
Oh yeah,
you know, if you break it down, I mean, even by hour, it's it's a lot more than most people make. But
definitely.
I actually was just gonna ask him too. I know you meant like as far as college, like. Now, my parents, I don't know Jay's, but mine are huge on college education. So I wanted to touch on this. Do you feel like your parents like pressured you more, or how did you don't have
to go to college?
Yeah. Did you feel pressure from them, or did they put that on
To
you?
keep them happy. Kind of.
Yeah,
Yeah, to keep them
absolutely.
happy. Yeah.
I never really worried about that, but they speak their mind. They're not worried about letting me know. I mean, they told me they wanted me to go to school. They were definitely worried about the aspect of I have to work to make my own money. I don't just have to go to a job and put in hours to get a check. They were worried about that aspect of it. I mean, you said you wanted to touch on this. I told you in the past. I mean, my parents gave me I would say like an ultimatum almost. Try it out for a year. If I don't really do anything, I would have to go back to college. Clearly, that didn't happen.
Yeah, that's cool.
Years, so
Yeah, that's actually really good because, like, I'll be honest, like, that's open, I think, than most parents would be. I can tell you mine wouldn't be like that, and they weren't. So, you know, that's good.
And that takes hustle, I guess, right?
Oh, yeah.
You wanted to prove them wrong. You could prove them wrong and say I can do it. And I think that says a lot to like the college stuff because I wanted to point it out. You said the largest check you got was $7,500, right?
yes,
$7,500 commission check, right? Do 5 of those a year. What's 7? That's a 35,000. So you can do a little more than just 5, but you know,
it's just 5 deals.
Yeah.
out of 12 months.
yeah. So I mean, there's a living to be made here, and I'm sure that paycheck you showed your parents, but hey, check this out, like I'm crushing it over here, and I'm sure that made them happy, you know.
Definitely.
And even to elaborate too, I mean, to make 35,000, even 40, whatever. I mean, you're gonna work a lot more hours
Right.
probably.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, maybe in your first year or first few months, at least in real estate, you'll be kind of like. But once you get going, you know, I think you're definitely gonna work. You're definitely gonna work more at a regular job. So
Oh yeah, and at the time, I mean, 19, 20, even if I made 25, 30K in a year,
That's a
it's
lot.
a lot of money for a kid that age.
Yeah.
So like, I wasn't really complaining.
Yeah. Now, of course, there's a whole bunch of real estate. There's a ton of different personalities out there in this world, and being from an 18-year-old, I wanted to say boy, but 18-year-old guy doing a real estate transaction where you have to cooperate with a 60-year-old female woman, and I used female because that's just the opposite of male, and
Don't
she's
wanna
been doing it
offend
for
anybody.
30 and she's been doing it for 30, 40 years. Now there's just no way you guys are going to connect.
None.
And I'm sure she looks down on you. I'm sure she tried to walk all over you. I'm sure she didn't take you serious. And how many times did your age kind of become a factor, and maybe your confidence wasn't there? Oh, I'm young, or just anything, did that get in your way? Age. How many times did you have to come over the age thing?
I mean, I haven't really had it come up seriously where someone wouldn't want to work with me.
Okay, that's good.
But I've definitely had some people try and pull my leg a little more, not take me serious, stuff like that. I mean, like I was telling you before, so I had a client who looked me up. They're getting a little nosy, and they found, like we were talking on before, football highlights from high school.
Were they at least good?
Probably not. Just kidding. So they were wondering why they were seeing high school stuff and not real estate stuff, and I had to kind of go into explaining that I got into it early and stuff like that. But they ride it out with me. We actually did end up closing, so it worked out in the end.
Yeah, so this year you closing on 10. I think you told me like 5 of them didn't make it to the closing.
Yes.
Could have been 15.
Yes, I think I can squeeze in 10 by the end of the year. I have 2 pending right now with the listing in Fall River. Yeah, I was joking about it before, saying it's my sophomore slump, it being my second year, how I had 5 fall out of contract. At first, I would say my first year, where if I had something fall out, definitely bothered me.
Yeah, right.
The more I worked in the business, I just kind of got to ignore it and keep going.
Yeah, of course. That happened with you, and I'm sure you with the text messaging too. It's 7 p.m. on a Saturday. My first year, I would answer that text message, even if I'm out to eat. Now it's like, all right, I'll get to it when I'm home or in the morning. Took a lot to learn that, but and getting with the age thing, there's so many networking events out there, and the fact that you couldn't go, you're gonna go there and have a water. You probably couldn't even get into some because it's a bar, so that held you back. But I mean, so many things holding you back. You still didn't. You're probably still in the top 350 out of probably 7,000 realtors in Rhode Island this year.
That's crazy. That would be nice. Yeah, it'd be nice. I do know a lot are part time. I mean, Matt being part time. I mean, he didn't do the same amount of numbers as me this year, so that's huge. Being the first year, it's a good first year. Yeah.
So we touched on any new agents coming into the real estate. Well, no matter of the age, what tips would you give them? And just to point out, you're a book of knowledge because I have to point it out. Jared works for Kyle Seabeth. Kyle is the number 1 agent, I think, in the nation, units wise. Yep. So he's a book of knowledge, and you work right under him. So what advice would you give to someone else? Real estate.
I would just say, especially beginning, just more consistently staying in front of that person, not just calling them here and there, but try and put a routine to it. Try and get in front of people weekly, even if you're just checking in on them, seeing if there's anything you can do for them. And staying organized, I would say having a CRM that really keeps your database good. That's a good thing.
Oh, so any good work stories?
Oof.
Someone yelling at you, or you told me about one actually about
the Johnson one.
Someone passing away.
Right? Oh yeah, so I sold a house in Johnson, pretty nice house. We sell it to this guy. I would say a week or 2 goes by. I get a call from the seller at the time. He called me. He was like, "Have you watched the news?" I was like, "What are you talking about? Have I watched the news?" So I actually look up the address and the news onto that property, and there must have been an altercation at the property a week into him buying it, where something happened with him, and I don't really know the details about it. That property actually ended up getting deemed unlivable because of something he did.
Wow.
Crazy. Only a week owning it. It was a pretty nice house, too. Pretty nice house.
Was he, upset? Did he, cuss you out or anything?
Oh, no. He was, up front, he was good. He was a nice guy.
Yeah.
I know, because I know some people. The buyer.
I was going to say his client.
My client was the seller. The buyer was
okay. He's on the sell side. Okay,
yes.
All right.
But, yeah, that was probably the only story I've had so far that was a little unusual.
Yeah.
Waiting on more.
Yeah, but it's good to just get anyone getting into real estate. I think it's good how you luckily, we all needed part-time jobs the first year. Mm-hmm. You make no money unless you sell something. And being a part of such a big team like you are, he gets opportunities. I don't think if he wants to make a little actual side money, he can pick up a home inspection, and the team will pay him for a home inspection. If he does 5 showings, he can make some side money working within the team. Mm-hmm. So I think that's huge. So I would give that as advice to anyone new, young, looking to get into real estate. Join a team and see if that team has opportunity for you to maybe do a showing and pay you or something like that.
Yeah.
But yeah, on top of that, I mean, even if I don't have a listing, I know I'm going to get an open house at the end of the week.
There's always open houses.
Always an open house to do.
Do you do one probably every weekend or?
1 to 2 every weekend.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Do you pick up a lot of buyers there?
That's one place I have problem picking up buyers is in open houses.
Yeah.
Definitely. I need to get better with signing sheets, handing them out my information. I don't have any new business cards. There's definitely some things I need up.
Hey, and 2023 is a new year.
Exactly.
Did you ever have a part-time job?
I did at the beginning. I was working at Spain Restaurant in Cranston.
Oh, I know what that is.
Yeah, it's a pretty nice
It's good.
restaurant.
Yeah, it is nice.
I was actually trying to go back for a little. I want to see if I could get a bartending gig. Just another way of connecting.
And good money.
Good money. Tips,
Yeah, it's
stuff
honestly
like that.
Yeah, just
Are you trying?
Just
or did
the
they
networking
decline?
alone.
Yeah, now that I'm 21, I've definitely been trying to get like a bartending gig there. Like my dad worked there for a decent amount of time. I know all the guys in the restaurant, the owners, stuff like that. So I mean, that would be nice. You get there later in the evening. You work till late at night.
Connections.
Yeah, exactly. You get to meet new people.
Yeah. Now just learning. You're gonna ask a question.
Yeah, I was just gonna. I don't know if you want to touch on investing. I know you said you're interested in investing. Do you have plans? I know you're still at home right now, right? I assume you're only 21. So
Recently 21. I did move up to Providence. I'm renting right now.
you're renting. Okay, cool.
Closer to the office, stuff like that. But
Yeah.
what were you gonna say on the investment part?
Yeah, I was gonna say, plans on buying. Do you have a timeline you're thinking, or something?
No real
if you
time.
did. Yeah, I was gonna say if you did buy multi-family, single. I know, so because like we kind of talked about this in another episode. Like he owns a single family, I own a multifamily. Like, I didn't know if you had like an idea in mind for down the line. Obviously, you're only 21,
Yeah.
so
So I mean,
got
I
some
was
time.
gonna see what I could get pre-approved for.
yeah.
My lease ends in June, July. So around then, I was gonna see what I could possibly get a pre-approved for.
Yeah.
Another route was, like I said, my boss owns a lot. I mean, I'd like to go to him, maybe pick his brain a little bit, see if there's some seller financing options I could go through.
Yeah. And another thing, kind of to add to that, any wholesale deals you come close to doing, or?
No, but me and someone I work with, actually, in the office, we recently started doing that. We're trying to attack some tax delinquent properties in Seekonk. We're gonna go Seekonk, Providence.
No, why Seacon? Oh, any you were
Just
using
because-
as an example, or?
We're using his clientele list. He has a bigger clientele list than
Yeah.
mine, and the people that he does usually do wholesales to look over there in Fall River, Seekonk,
Gotcha.
Taunton.
So that's where the buyers are.
Yeah.
So how do you know how you go about getting those tax delinquent
So
things? Or?
actually, a couple days ago, some towns are different. I've had towns where I needed to go there and fill out a form to get it released to me. Other towns have a booklet that you can just go take a picture. The Seekonk one was the easiest one. All I did was call the town collector's office, and they email you over a tax delinquent list. Then you just got to get a letter, send that out to them, and if it hits, it hits.
So you send a letter out to all the addresses.
Yes.
Yeah, that's cool. I know the wholesale. I'm so badly wanted to get into the wholesaling stuff. I've came close probably 4 times where I had the property, I had the seller. I just couldn't get the seller to agree to a low enough price to make sense.
Exactly. That's the thing. You
That's
kind of
tough
got to get
part.
them to like discount the property so
Yeah.
you can up the
Yeah,
make your money.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah, you got it's not easy. I have a friend that does a little bit of it, and it's like
But if they're good at it, I know
Yeah,
a lot
that-
of people that make a lot of money.
that do
off of
yeah that do well.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Do you know anyone within your office that does wholesaling, or more online, like YouTubers or?
No, I mean, no, really. The guy I've been working with, his name is Bruno Pereira.
Okay.
He's the one kind of getting me into it. I do know he does do wholesale deals. A client of my boss's, who I'll sometimes go on showings with, I do know he's a wholesaler, so he'll help me out. If I have a cash deal, I'll try getting him something going. That we haven't got something yet, but still trying to. So there's a couple people that I've been picking their brain about the whole wholesale side of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like right now, I touched on it last podcast, but just a little update. I'm pending on a multifamily, 2-family. The appraisal was 2 days ago.
Yeah, how did that end up going?
I
Or did
don't
not
know.
back? Oh
I have
yeah,
no
2
report
days.
yet.
Yeah.
But I had to go moved some funds around this morning. Seeing that big paycheck get transferred, the big account balance get moved was so bad.
Yeah, buying them.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So he has a single family. He's buying an investment property. Yeah, good in Warwick.
Warwick, yeah. So January 4th is still projected closing.
Yeah, it's exciting.
See what the hell happens with that.
Yeah. I feel like, when you're first doing it, everyone's kind of like, maybe not winging it, but there's a lot we don't.
Definitely. I mean,
no one's an expert until you're an expert.
Exactly. Onto the winging it part, back to the real estate side. I mean, I still feel like some of the people I work with or offers that go in, it feels like it just comes out of nowhere. It still feels like I'm still winging it. Clients just pop up out of nowhere. It doesn't really feel like, I mean, they're there 1 week there, just randomly say, hey, let's do this.
Yeah. They're just like, yeah.
That's really all I got for this podcast. Want to add anything, guys? Or
no, I think that's it. I think it's crazy. It's what I wish I had started at 18. I mean, I ended up 2 years ago. I'm 29 now, so 27, 27. I think
we've yet to do it. He showed me a house before in North Providence. Maybe one or two, but we haven't done a deal yet. But it's always good to just network with other agents within Rhode Island. We don't have to stick to the team. Jared's here. He's at Century 21, different brokerage. I don't look at him as a competitor, which some agents do when they get all cranky talking to other agents. But anyone wants to reach out to Jared, he's on Instagram. Ask him some questions. He just turned 21, so he's definitely, if you're a new agent out there and you're using age as an excuse to that what's holding you back, Jared is a living proof that he's doing 10 deals and he's just turned 21. So if you need any advice, reach out to Jared.
Yeah, one other thing too, I was going to say,
hop right in here.
I was just going to cut you off right there if you don't mind, but me and Jay talk about this all the time, and I have strong feelings about it. I don't know if Jared, you want to touch on it, but I feel like as people, and we kind of already touched on it a little bit, but as the age goes up, when I'm dealing with people, whether it's an inspector, a listing agent, or a lawyer. I mean, you had a crazy story. We talked about it last week on the podcast. But is it harder to communicate? I feel like it's a lot harder as that age goes up. You
relate to, yeah.
Yeah, it's just tough. Like, do you think it's tougher dealing with older?
Yeah, and just to give you a little more fill on that, I'm at Coldwell Banker. Before Matt joined and John and Cody, I was at an office where I was 21 male and there were 50-year-old females plus, and that was the gap. And my manager would be like, hey, you really should come to this networking event. I'd love to see you there. And I go there and sit there, and I cannot relate to anyone.
Exactly.
So
I'm the same way. Yeah. That's why I moved. Still stayed in Century 21, but I mean, the first Century 21, it was the same thing. It was me, and then there was several year age gap between me and the next person. So
it's so tough it's so awkward, honestly.
Yeah, it's just I can't even. I'm turning 30 in January, and I try to even if I'm dealing with even a younger agent.
Dude, you're gonna need a new co-host here. 30?
I'm not even part of the millennial anymore. Yeah. I don't even know what the age is, but I try to talk to, if I'm talking to a younger agent, I try to remember not to because I'll have a 40-year-old. I just had it on the last transaction I did, talking down to me. So I try not to find myself in that. Yeah. There's no reason.
So you have no stories like this, so simple. I'm not even lying. So he gets a deal, and I email to the listing agent, hey, could you please add my MLS number to the listing as the selling agent? Yep. Please, said please twice, I promise. She called him saying, who's Jason Pacheco bossing me around? Who does he think he is? He's so unpolite.
Oh, come on.
I sent you an email, please twice, and I'm asking you, come on. You have no stories like that. Yeah, I'm sure you have a ton, but you just can't think of it, dude. Because it happens so much, and I don't understand. I don't understand.
And she was she wasn't old, but she was older, definitely considerably older than us, but she wasn't and it's just, I feel like if I'm dealing with someone our own age, or at least in the ballpark, we're not going to have that issue. We can at least talk
last
equals.
Yeah. Last quick thing. It's home inspection. I'm on the buy side, so I told the seller, I'm like, hey, the home inspection is Wednesday at 4 p.m.
Yep.
She called me. Are you kidding me? I'm like, what's up? You don't even have courtesy to say, can you do the home inspection? We are doing the home inspection. She wanted me to ask if we can please do the home inspection at 4
Yeah,
o'clock.
she wanted.
It's like, dude, like, come on.
Yeah, it's just
I
like,
don't know.
There's
yeah, I
some
feel like she
people
just.
that pick and choose like what
Yeah.
you say.
Yeah,
The same way. I mean, on to that. I mean, I said someone back my last deal. I mean, I told them something. They completely took it the wrong way. We closed, and then they start calling my office like, "Hey, why isn't this kid paying for the repairs he was gonna ask? Like he said he would repair."
Yeah,
There was a roof, some big thing. I'm not gonna pay. How much is
You're right, yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
a
not gonna
lot.
do that. So I basically said that I have someone that could possibly do the work for you. I know the person. They took it as I'm gonna pay for the whole thing.
Wow.
That sucked.
Yeah.
That sucked. I actually got roped into paying 2 out of the 3 repairs.
You did?
Nah.
Yeah, I didn't do the roof.
No
Doing
way.
that, yeah, they kept calling my office. Someone in my office was like, "Hey, Darren, like you just gotta do this. You gotta take care of it. They can't keep calling us like this."
Oh man.
So it was a couple $100, but
Wow.
I haven't heard from them again. I probably won't ever talk
Yeah.
to them again. But
Yeah.
yeah, got roped into that. But
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean,
That's a story to be told.
yeah, like I mean, a couple $100. I get it. It's like, oh, it's not that, but it's just the point that like, why would they think you're gonna pay for?
Exactly.
Yeah, I
And
don't.
of course, like I'm all about doing whatever it takes to get the deal done. Like
Yeah.
I've paid for. I remember we're at the closing table in the final walk. There was no electricity. I paid $200 to have an inspector and electrician to go back to the property to reevaluate. I paid for it and I didn't ask for money. It closed, whatever.
yeah,
But that's it for this episode, guys. Thanks for watching episode 15.
We just went on.
Subscribe.